our video series on combating the tolls in Australia. My name is Neil Skilbeck, and I'm going to be presenting video 3 for you today, where we're going to be addressing the question, are tolls necessary? I even have a special guest for you. He'll be with you shortly, but we need to address the arguments for tolls. Most of us would agree, under certain circumstances, that the tolling system could be a way of financing our roads, particularly if we don't have any other way of doing that, and that the tolling fee would be removed as soon as the expenses have been recouped. This is just not happening at the moment in Australia, and so I brought in Jeffrey Hodges, who is the Secretary and heads up the Civil Liberties and No Tolls Party. Jeff has been a long advocate against the tolling system. And so, Jeff, we'd like you to present the case against tolls. So what are the arguments against the tolls in Australia at present, Jeff?
The main argument, Neil, is that we've already paid for these roads already, so why should we be paying extra in tolls? Certainly your argument that, maybe a toll is necessary when a new piece of infrastructure is required, and nobody would object to that happening, provided, as you say, the money that was paid in tolls went back to the government, and as soon as the infrastructure was paid off, the toll debt, the toll would be taken away. And this is actually what was promised when the Gateway Bridge was first built here in Brisbane back in 1986. The Gateway Bridge cost $183 million, and Premier Joh Bjelke-Petersen promised that when the cost of the bridge was paid off, the tolls would end. It's now been 32 years that we've been paying tolls on this bridge. That bridge now earns over $380 million per year. That's per year. So we've calculated that we paid for that bridge at least 40 times over in the 32 years. So where does your toll money go? It actually goes to a private corporation called Transurban, who's got a chief executive on a salary of $6.9 million a year, all paid for by your tolls. Now, that's not the only thing, in terms of, us having paid already for infrastructure for toll roads that have been already put up, such as the Logan motorway. Again, only cost $140 million to build back in 1988. It's now earning over $400 million per year. But the other thing is to recognise, Neil, is that we also pay fuel excise and registration and licensing fees. And in fact, for every litre of fuel that you buy, 41.2 cents per litre is charged on that fuel. The cost of that fuel, 41.2 cents, goes to the government in fuel excise plus GST. So for a litre of fuel selling at $1.50, you're paying 56 cents in tax. Now that money is supposed to be to pay for our roads and infrastructure. If we're already paying that amount of money, and the NRMA says that barely 25% of the money raised in fuel excise, registration and licensing fees is actually going to roads. If we're already paying that, why should we be paying tolls as well?
Well, that was very persuasive arguments. Thank you, Jeff. Just to end this off, I need to show you what's happening in the future. The Victorian government there has signed a deal with Transurban for the City Link right up until 2034. In Queensland, the Gateway and the Logan motorways have got a contract with Transurban to 2051. Other tolling roads have similar contracts attached to them, which means that you, the motorist, is going to have your hands deep in your pockets for a long time yet. Get ready for video 4. where I'm going to show you some of the roads that have been tolled and yet have been paid for many times over. We'll see you then.